My son's in LA.
They did have some signs.
Once they catch up, I want to hot street.
Usually they stick pretty far over the mound. He was in there about 10 months in Long Bend. They got
the wars now! Stop the wars now!
Your name, sir?
I'm Malachy Kilbride.
And Malachy, what's going on today down on Pennsylvania Avenue?
Well, today folks are gathering through the United Against the Drones and the occupation of Washington, D.C. And at this point in the events, we are protesting the drones, the profiteering of companies like General Atomics, which is one of the biggest drone manufacturer. They've profited into the hundreds of billions of dollars at the expense of the death and maiming of innocent people, in addition to being a part of the extrajudicial killing that was ordered by the Obama administration. And all of these things are war crimes. They are against international law. And so we're here to be a witness to that and say, General Atomics, you've got to stop making these weapons of terrorism and find another line of work.
The war don't need a name. I'm with Vets for Peace, Vietnam Veterans Against the War. Don't need a name. I'm you, just another face in the crowd. Facebook micro story. From the foyer of his upscale home, he kisses his lovely wife goodbye, hugs his precious children, pets his sweet little dog, and goes off for another day at the office. He enters his air-conditioned cubicle, lights up the screen, grabs the joystick, dials in the coordinates, and across the horizon he'll never see, pulls the go button. And halfway across the world, someone else's sweet wife, precious children, and sweet little dog, an entire neighborhood for 3 blocks go up in flames. Yeah. Thank God America still produces such courageous, valiant warriors. Thank God we live in a society where children's video games precondition and train people for such heroic roles. God bless America.
Okay, my name is Toby Blomé. I'm with Code Pink San Francisco. I've been with Code Pink since 2003, fighting hard, diligently against these wars. And then a couple years ago, it came out through the wonderful work of Voices for Creative Nonviolence about the drone warfare. It was kind of under our radar for a long time. But in 2009, Voices led the first protest at Creech Air Force Base in Nevada. And Creech 14 were arrested, speaking out about the immorality about drones. And that's when I became aware, and a few months later I went down in July and was part of our first protest, Code Pink, to join the faith-based community down in Las Vegas to resist these drones. And Creech is an hour north of Las Vegas. And I've organized about 6, we're going to have, I think, our 7th trip down there. I'm leaving on Saturday, and there's a big protest on Sunday. There are going to be 200 Catholic workers joining in Las Vegas, and we're going to be there on Sunday in front of Creech Air Force Base. And we're going to have our 2nd civil disobedience. And I hope it'll be larger than the first one. The first one was 14. I think we're expected to have 30 or 40, hopefully more. And I'm hoping the next one will be even larger. If you know anyone anyone in Arizona, New Mexico, anywhere in the area of Nevada, Southern California, or the Bay Area, get them involved, because when I first heard about these drones a couple years ago, I was really shocked that we were starting to fight wars with robots. In fact, and then I started reading some articles about how our Air Force, a couple years ago, their plans were to get rid of manned airplanes altogether, and I couldn't believe it. It was just too hard for me to believe that that's the direction we were going. Well, you know what, folks, as most of you know, we're here today. The attack on Libya, I heard on Democracy Now!, 30% of the missile attacks on Tripoli in the last week or two were over 30% were drone missile attacks. We are here. We are moving toward war with robots. And if we don't rise up against this, we are leaving a horrible world for our grandchildren. So get involved. I know we're all doing so much, but the drone stuff, it's just absolutely egregious. So anyway, let's keep up the struggle. I also wanted to just say, you know, when the first wedding party was attacked in Afghanistan, I don't remember what year that was. When I read the paper, I believed the military line. I thought, you know, this really was an accident. I couldn't believe the military would really attack a wedding party. I believed their line. And then another wedding party was attacked, and then a funeral, and another funeral, and then finally it came out that they killed a couple of militants one day, and there was a funeral a couple days later, and there was a purposeful attack on the funeral because they figured some of those militant friends were going to be there. And we have no morality in this country the way we fight war. It's egregious. What are we telling the rest of the world, that we don't even show respect to their funerals or their wedding parties? Right. We need to rise up, and we are rising up!
Stop the wars now!
Where drones fly, children die. Stop the wars now. Where drones fly, children die. Stop the wars now.
Hi, Lady Macbeth. How you doing?
Stop the wars now. When drones fly, children die. Stop the wars now. When drones fly, children die. Stop the wars now.
The U.S. is planning on having Al-Qaeda. The U.S. and Al-Qaeda will have complete air parity with each other.
And they had her on a backboard, so she was really uncomfortable. Stop the wars now.
I don't believe that. We have to kill these Muslims. We have to kill these Arabs. We have to kill.
Stop the wars now! When drones fly, children die!
Stop the wars now.
When drones fly, children die!
Stop the wars now. When drones fly, children die. Stop the wars now. When drones fly, children die. Stop the wars now. When drones fly, children die. Stop the wars now.
Drones fly, children die!
Stop the wars now!
When drones fly, children die. Stop the wars now. When drones fly, children die. Stop the wars now. Going in the way of going in the Freedom Plaza.
Nice talk, Ray. I got a little bit of it.
Oh, good. Okay. Good to see you.
And I mean, they've been used in Afghanistan, Pakistan, Somalia, I think.
In Yemen.
There's no accountability. They create weddings.
Yes.
And funerals.
Yes. As one of the speakers was just saying, there is absolutely no sense of morality. We have no respect for their customs, their rituals, their religion. We are just killing people who are practicing events that mark points in their lives, weddings and funerals, and it's an abomination, really.
And recently, Malachy, you mentioned there was an assassination, and this was of an American citizen, wasn't it?
Correct.
And there was no due process about it at all. And one of these drones was used to take him out.
Right. Yeah, this U.S. citizen who lived not too far away from here in Washington, D.C. He was a resident of Virginia. He was never arrested. He was never charged. He was never put before any court, whether it was a U.S. court or an international court. He was basically killed in what many people in the 1980s here in the United States were aware of down in Central America and Latin America called death squads. So now we have death squads from the air with these drones.
And these are sponsored and condoned by Obama and Biden,
right.
The administration.
Right. And egged on in a really backhanded way by Dick Cheney, who always likes to move the goalposts farther towards more bloodshed and torture.
So it makes it even more important to have rallies like this.
Absolutely. And one of the great things, well, maybe it's not so great, is that the military-industrial congressional complex is so large, it affects all of us. It's in every single one of our communities, and all of us can organize against the drones and against the wars and the occupations. We can all do that because we're all connected.
Anything else, man?
Well, let's work for peace and social justice for everyone. Justice through peace, and peace through justice.
Thanks so much.